Hello everyone and welcome back to another kart ranking tier list. This one's going to be a little bit different. We're going to be actually taking a look at the Sonic Riders mini-series of games. I think there's like maybe 3 or maybe 4. This is overall a part of the Sonic Racing kart ranking tier list that we've been doing. As always, these boards are going to be ranked solely on vibes, just how dope of a design I think these are. And spoiler, just because it's so ingrained in my brain at this point, I'm probably going to refer to these guys as karts. Unlike the rest of the Sonic Racing catalog and like Mario Kart and stuff, I don't have a whole lot of knowledge of Sonic Riders. I played it like when it first came out, like ages ago, and I think they're fine, but just haven't really returned to them in recent years. And with that out of the way, let's get started with the first one being the Accelerator. Now, I think this guy's pretty cool. Like, he's simple, but he's not boring. Like, honestly, I think this is a good place to start off with an A. Up next, we have the Axis, and honestly, this one's just even cooler. I don't know why, but I'm getting like heavy Final Fantasy vibes, like some kind of spin-off of a Final Fantasy game. While I think it's really cool, I think the only thing that's kind of throwing me off are the colors of these like little indents or jewels or whatever they're supposed to be. I think it's also going to be an A, but it's going to be higher. Up next, we've got the Advantage F, and I actually know that the Advantage P and S are also boots or sneakers as well. They're just different colors. So whatever I rank these, they're going to be ranked the same as well. I'll probably rank them just solely based on color at that point. I think these are cool. I don't know if I'd put them in S, because I do like the fact that they're skates, so like this time around not just shadows skating all around. You know, honestly, yeah, I think it's going to be another A. And if we're going based on color, I think blue's going to be first, then red, then yellow. Actually, I'll combine these for later. Next up, we've got the Air Broom, and I love this. It's so silly. It screams Little Witch Academia. I love it. That's an S. Up next, we have the Air Tank. And this was something I completely forgot that Sonic Riders had. I forgot they had, like, scooters and bikes and stuff. And honestly, I think this is pretty cool. I remember from gathering all the images, like, being just wowed at some of the ones that come later on. So, actually, I think this guy is going to be an A, but he's going at the very top. Up next, we've got the Air Slider. And, you know, honestly, this thing's really sick. Like, to me, this really screams early 2000s and makes me think of, like, Wipeout or something. I actually do think this is an S. Up next, we've got the Banana, and I remember it was in all caps on the site, too. Honestly, yeah, I think this is another S. I didn't even know II was in this game. Next up, we've got the Beginner, and you know, this one's kind of weird. Like, it looks like the grate or floorboard or whatever is, like, above it, but also not really. This one's kind of odd to me. I like the overall shape, but overall, I think it is a C. Next up, we've got Berserker. And this thing's so dope. You'll see in my upcoming Sonic Racing Crossworlds kart tier list that, like, I absolutely love, like, that knight-looking kart, and this guy is 100% in that world. This is going to be an easy S. Up next, we've got the Blue Star. If I remember right, I think this is, like, Sonic's first board. I think this is nice. I think this is, like, a solid B. I think there's nothing wrong with it. It's not too exciting, but it's not lame either. I think this is the definition of B. Followed then by the Blue Star 2, and I actually think you could get this one in Racing Crossworlds if you did like some kind of sign-up promotion. I think this one's really sick. Very much just a super upgrade. And actually, I think it's going to be an S. I really dig this guy. Up next, we've got the Cannonball. Don't really know why it's called the Cannonball, but they're just kind of okay. I think the design's a little too much. Like, I don't super agree with the blue being thrown in there, but I get if they had made it like yellow or something, maybe it would have clashed too much with Shadow Skates. Just not really a fan of this guy overall. I think he's going to be an F. Up next, we've got Channel 5, and you know, this is a super solid board. Leagues better than her kart in the original Sonic and Sega All-Stars. Yeah, I think this one's really sick. I think this one's going to be a high A. Up next, we've got the Cover F, and I think, yeah, P and S are the same thing as well. So they'll probably all be ranked the same. But again, just kind of based on color. I really dig it. I think it is a cooler version of this guy, honestly. Obviously, it just reminds me of like an old school Vespa, and I think that's really sick. And if we're going to go based on color, I think like before, I think blue will go first, then red, then yellow. Alright, up next we've got Darkness, and yep, these are the shadow shoes. And I know I said what I said about the blue, but like, I don't know, something about the teal here kind of works. Like, I'm kind of digging it. Maybe it's just the overall shoe shape itself. Yeah, honestly, no complaints. I think this is another S. It's crazy just how good of quality all of these are so far. Up next, we've got the Destroyer. Really reminds me of something from like Mario Kart Wii, like one of the heavyweight classes like Bowser's Kart or something. I think it's cool. I don't know if it'd be my first pick. I do like it, but I think it's gonna be a B. Up next, we've got the E-Gear G and R. Yeah, they're the same thing. Kind of like before, we'll just base them on color. Honestly though, I think these are very boring, and maybe they're supposed to be like the egg pawn kind of board, so maybe they're supposed to be boring, like, you know, very generic. Either way, not really a fan, but I will say the yellow and red takes the green and red for me, but I do think they are going to be an F. Up next, we've got the E-Rider, and I love this. Just a straight up motorcycle. I think the front's a little weird though. Like, I can't super tell if that's like a giant light or something. I definitely like it, but again, the front just kind of, not ruins it, but just makes me question it, so I think it's going to be a B. Up next, we've got Faster, and this guy's pretty cool. A little weird. I like the slimness of it, I guess. It's just kind of weird overall. I think this is going to be another B. Just when I see this, I'm just kind of like perplexed. Followed then by Fastest. This one's cooler, I guess. A little spikier in the front and the back. The colors are kind of cooler. I think another B though, but it's just above Faster, which I guess makes sense. Up next, we've got the Gambler. I don't super know why this one's called the Gambler. It just kind of looks like a squarer version of these guys. Also, the colors are just not doing it for me. I think this is going to be another F. Next up, we've got the Grinder. And you know, honestly, these shoes are really sick. I love the whole like fin things coming out of them. Reminds me of like a rocket or something. I think these are really cool. I think these are going to be another S. All right. Up next, we've got the Hang On and Absolute Peak. Absolutely amazing. It clearly being a reference to Sega's old arcade games. I think it's like Mach Rider or Road Rash or one of them. Absolutely fantastic. This is probably the highest S at the moment. Alright, up next we've got the Heavy Bike, and this is pretty cool, giving off some RoboCop kind of vibes. Having a hard time where I want to place this guy. Like, it's somewhere between A and B. I think this guy is gonna go, he's gonna go right above Ooh La La. Alright, up next we've got the High Booster, and this guy's pretty cool. This looks like it'd be one of the boards on like the cover art. I don't know who would have it though. I kind of feel this way about the same way I felt about like the Sonic's board, what was it called? The Blue Star? I think it's gonna be a B. Alright, up next we've got the Hovercraft. If y'all watched my other videos where I talk about like, you know, Mario Kart or something, Mario Kart 7 and 8 have these like Lakitu Cloud type carts, and I wasn't really a big fan of them. However, I think it works here because there's no wheels. There's no like mechanical bits to it, at least not to my knowledge. So it quite literally just being like a flying Nimbus, like a cloud, I think works super well here. Having said that though, I mean, design-wise, it is quite literally just a cloud. So I think it's gonna go in B. Up next, we've got the Legend, and this guy's pretty cool. Reminds me of like something from Kirby. I don't know how I feel about the colors too much. Like, I wish either these parts were light blue or these parts were dark blue. I don't know how I feel about the white, the gray, the red, and the light and dark blue. I don't absolutely hate it, but I do think this is going to be another C. Up next, we've got the Light Board. Kind of like with the Blue Star, just another boring one, but don't hate it or anything. I think it's just kind of okay. Going in B tier. Up next, we've got the Magic Carpet. Not surprised this kind of thing is here. I feel like magic carpets are always implemented in some capacity in kart racers. Even still, it's not super my favorite. I don't really care for it, never really picked these guys. I think it's gonna be another C. Up next, we've got the Night Sky, and I believe this is Knights. And yeah, it's pretty cool. No real complaints. I like the whole silhouette of it. Kind of reminds me of like a flying beetle or something, with like the horns and the wings back here. I think this is another one that's just kind of okay, and I think it's gonna be a B. Up next is Omnipotence. Crazy name. And you know, honestly, I like this one better than this one. It just looks sleeker, colors are nice. I actually think this guy is gonna be an A. I really dig this one. And you know, the more I look at it, the more I'm actually gonna switch boots with, what was it, Access. And I think I'm gonna put, what was his name? Omni. I think I'm gonna put Omni right above Ooh La La. Next up, we've got Opa Opa. Love the games, love the characters. I think this is a cute little board. Although I will say something that kind of like turns me off a little bit about this board is the little feet thing back here. Because when I think of Opa Opa, I think of his big yellow feet, you know what I mean? So these just kind of throw me off. It just kind of makes it look a little weird. I think he's going to be somewhat lower B. All right, up next we've got the Pink Rose. I'm guessing Amy's, and it's cool. Kind of like another Blue Star situation. Nothing really to write home about. It's a nice looking board. Once again, we are looking at B. I really dig the colors though, so I think it's actually going to go above Knights. Man, going into this, I did not realize just how many boards there are. Next up, we've got the Power Gear. And you know, this guy's pretty cool. I think it's got a cool shape to it. I think the bulkiness is in like the right places. I think this is going to be another A. Let's see, up next, we've got the Powerful Gear. And you know, ironically, I think this is just kind of a worse version. I think the colors really do not work with this. Like, they're very desaturated and like kind of green. It's not really a fan of this guy. Crazy how the first one went from an A and then the quote-unquote upgrade solely based on name is an F. Although I will say I think I like it more than these two because at least it's not boring. Alright, up next we've got the Red Rock, and I'm guessing Knuckles. Kind of like what I said before with Sonic, Amy's. It is what it is. No real opinion. Another B. Next up we've got the Slide Booster. How many more do we have? Jesus. This one's weird. I don't get it. It kind of reminds me of like a kazoo. Yeah, not really a fan of this one. This one's just, again, weird. I think the silhouette could actually work, but this inner part where these like outer shells are, it's just, I don't know. It doesn't really do it for me. Next up, we've got the Smile. I'm gonna guess this is Creams. I don't know if she's in this game. I think you already know what I want to say about this one. Same as before, another B. Up next, we've got the Speed Balancer. This one's really sick. I really like this guy. Don't know who would be for. Guessing based on color, maybe Shadow, or maybe even possibly like Eggman or Omega. I don't know. But either way, I think this guy's really cool. I think he's gonna be an A. Next up, we've got the Super Hang-On. My god, it somehow beat the Hang-On. This is just so cool. I love it. Like, the first one was like, oh, this is the bike from the arcade cabinet. This is the whole damn arcade cabinet. I love it. It's like Ryu's cart in Sonic Transformed. Absolutely super mega S tier. Next up, we've got Temptation. I'm gonna guess this is Rouge. And you know, it's not bad. I think the back little flamey spike things is a little odd. And I kind of don't get why, like, you know, it's a heart here, but not here. Having said that, I probably have a little bias because it's Rouge. I do think it's gonna be a B. All right, up next, we've got the Crazy. Again, pretty much if you've watched my Sonic and Sega All-Stars series of kart rankings, you'll know that like every time the Crazy Taxi comes up, it's like a unanimous S. Like, it's just so good. And even in board form, it's perfect. 100% another S. All right, up next we've got the Trap Gear. This one's all right. A little wild. Kind of reminds me of something from like Kingdom Hearts. You know, I think the only thing that's like not super doing it for me is the color. I feel like if this was like maybe orange and brown or red and dark red, like I feel like it would just fit a little better, but it being green is just kind of odd. I'm a little conflicted on this one, but I think it's gonna be C, but I think it's gonna be the highest C. Up next, we've got the Turbo Star, and another one that's just kind of basic. I'm gonna assume this is in the same tier as like everybody's standard Extreme Gears, although I don't know who this one's would be, maybe Espio, but honestly, like even compared to the others, like basic boards, I think this one's just really boring. I don't hate it, but I do think it's gonna be a C. All right, up next we've got, oh, the final four, and the type J, S, and W. I believe this is gonna be for Jets, Storm, and Wave. Jets, yeah, pretty iconic, pretty cool. I kind of think this is like above the first Sonic, but like not quite the highest peak as like the Blue Star 2. I think this is gonna be an A. It's a really solid board, really cool looking. Type S for Storm. His is okay. The three little like bumpers here that maybe is supposed to resemble like a Talon Claw or something. It's a little weird. It's not my favorite. I think this is going to be another C. Next up, type W for Wave. And hers is pretty cool. I don't think it's as cool as Jet's, but it's not as bad as Storm's. So for that reason, I think it's going to be somewhat of a lower B. All right, and the last one is going to be the Yellowtail, which I'm guessing is Tails. This one's kind of whatever. Like, even as far as like the basic default Extreme Gear is, I think even for its standards, this one's like pretty boring. Tails is gonna be a C. All right, and it looks like that will do it. I'm gonna glance over right quick to make sure to see if I have any like final changes I want to make. Nope, I think that's pretty good. Like I said before, I forgot just how many boards and Extreme Gears and all that stuff was in this game. There was so much. And it makes me wonder if the other Sonic writers have as many or even more boards. That's going to be crazy to rank. But this was definitely fun, and I'm glad that they made their return in Sonic Racing Cross Worlds. I can't get over how much I love these three guys. They're just so dope. But yeah, it looks like that's going to do it for this slight deviation in our kart ranking tier list series. The next one we're probably going to be doing is the next Sonic Riders, which I think is Zero Gravity, I could be wrong, and depending on whenever I get around to it, I'll probably do the Sonic Riders series first, because like I said, I think there's only like 3 or 4 games maybe, and then after them we'll do Crossworlds, because now I actually have all the carts completely unlocked. But yep, I think that's gonna do it. Thank you to everybody watching. I really hope you enjoyed. Let me know down below what you guys maybe agreed with, what you didn't agree with, maybe what your S tier ranks are. But I'll be back with some more modeling videos, some more kart ranking videos, etc. Thank you to everybody watching. I really appreciate it, and I will see you guys in the next video.